What's going on, YouTube? Fins here again from Team Gins. I'm here today with the updated Worm deck profile that I have for the September 2013 ban list. Now, this deck actually got hurt a lot by the ban list. You wouldn't think it did, but the way I was playing it last format to now has changed drastically. Avarice got banned, which sucks. Rescue Rabbit went to 1, which destroyed that whole engine. I still run the engine, but it's not as good as it once was. More obvious things, Heavy Storm, stuff like that, kind of hurt everybody, but it hurt this deck as well. So, without further ado, though, I do have the updated deck list right here. It took me a while to get in back to what it used to be, but for the most part, I'm still loving the deck. I still think it's a fun deck to play. It's a lot like the first build that I had last format was just so explosive and overwhelming for opponents that a lot of them just had to quit halfway through the duel. But now it's a lot more, very much slower, very much more XYZ oriented, very control based due to the heavy use of Worm King. But without further ado, here's the deck list. We're going to start things off with the Shock Trooper engine. I'm still running the Shock Trooper engine with the 1 rabbit. The big thing that happened to that, obviously, Rabbit went to 1, but I had to put in a third Kage to Kage just to make that last Shock Trooper just not dead, because it's a horrible card on its own. Moving along with the 3 Worm Zex, and with 3 Worm Zex comes 3 Worm Yagan. Moving on, still only playing 2 Carteros. Still really don't need a third Carteros. I mean, it's nice to have, obviously, but you don't really need it. 2 Worm King, obviously, gotta play 2. I think 3 is way too many, because if you draw him, it sucks. Like, if you draw him, you basically kind of lose. Not lose, but it takes out a lot of your plays. And you play 2 Worm Tentacles. At least I play 2 Worm Tentacles. Just sometimes he's great. Sometimes I just dump him to the graveyard just to get him out of the deck and have another card to banish for Ananta. But for the most part, that's he's good. Just if you need to get in a little bit of damage just at the end to push for a little extra, it works nicely. 3 Kage to Kage. 1 Honest just because you're playing so many lights, and finally 1 Evil Dragon Ananta. If you don't know what this guy does, he's awesome. You will play all the reptiles on your field and in your graveyard, and then he gains 600 attack for each, and at the end of every end phase you destroy a card on the field. Now for the spells, 3 Potted Duality. You do special summon a lot with this deck, but more than anything you are looking to get to your Meteorite as soon as possible. 3 MSTs. This is supposed to be regular Barion's Force. I do have it. It's just in my trade binder right now. But I am running 1 Barion's Force just because I go into Utopia a lot in this deck, and I love utilizing Utopia Ray and Utopia Ray V and Utopia Ray Victory. They're fun cards, and if you make them easily, it's working fine right now. So, and 1 Book of Moon and 1 Dark Hole. That's it for the spells. For the traps, obviously the best card in the deck, W Nebula Meteorite. Makes silly things happen that really shouldn't happen. Solemn Warning, 1 Torrential Tribute, 1 Compulse, 2 Mirror Force, and the other big main addition to the deck is 2 Call the Haunted. This just helps get a lot of XYZ plays in that really shouldn't happen, but they do just because this deck is pretty awesome. For the extra deck, they're all level 4s. It's a level 4 toolbox deck. This is basically overall. You're running 2 King of the Pharaoh Limbs. Some people only play 1. I think 2 is necessary just because it's such a great searcher, and if something happens to your first one, you're kind of screwed. I'm only playing the 1 Pally Dynamo. I used to be playing 2 just because of all the level 4 lights, but I needed space in the extra deck, and 1 is fine. 1 Daigusto Emerald. 1 Concealer Omega. Concealer Omega is great in this deck. Just for a couple of different cards, this format are really trouble cards. Concealer Omega is the answer to a lot of them. The whole Utopia engine. This is gonna come as a shock to a lot of people, but this is just a great engine right now. Utopia Ray. First of all, Utopia Ray has stolen me so many duels that I shouldn't have won. And Utopia Ray Victory and Utopia Ray V are just great cards in general. Gemini Pearl, Cowboy, Dweller. Dweller is really awesome too. Maestroke, Roach, and Ouroboros to round up that lineup. It's still a very fun deck to play. It's not as explosive or as overwhelming as it used to be, but it's still great. I still love the deck. It's still one of my favorite decks to play. Without further ado, guys, I'm going to say goodbye now, and let me know what you think down below, and subscribe.